Through this Holy Week, we will follow the Stations of the Cross from the Iona community. There are short readings, meditations and prayers for each station. There will be plenty of space and silence between for us to step into Christ's final days on earth. And so we pray on Monday of Holy Week. Let us walk with Christ on his journey to the cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Mark chapter 15, the first station. Jesus is condemned to death. As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He answered him, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release Barabbas for them instead. Pilate spoke to them again. "Then what do you wish me to do with the man you call the King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him!" Pilate asked them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him!" So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. Pilate asked what crime Jesus had committed. It was a good question. Jesus had annoyed the religious leaders, of that there was no doubt. He had been critical of social and religious structures. He had healed the villagers. He had told stories to the crowds. He was probably a threat to public law and order. But was that enough to condemn him? To end his life? But he would not defend himself. The storyteller was silent now, and the crowd was noisy, and Pilate handed him over to be crucified. We pray for those on trial this week and for those appointed to judge them. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. A reading from Mark 15, beginning at the 16th verse. The second station. Jesus takes up his cross. The soldiers took Jesus inside to the courtyard of the governor's palace and called together the rest of the company. They put a purple robe on Jesus, made a crown out of thorn branches and put it on his head. Then they began to salute him, "Long live the King of the Jews!" They beat him over the head with a stick, spat on him, fell on their knees and bowed to him. When they had finished mocking him, they took off the purple robe and put his own clothes back on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. Soldiers, taking the chance for a bit of fun. They had a heavy day ahead. Soon they would have to put on their public face, disciplined, controlled, efficient. But for now, a bit of a lark with the lads with no risk of recrimination. Dead men tell no stories, and Jesus was going to his death. We pray for those appointed to keep public order and for those tempted to abuse their power. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. A closing prayer. God of life and death, we wait in hope. God of all the worlds that are, we wait in hope. God of dazzling darkness, we wait in hope. We wait in hope and awe. Amen.